Hi, my name is Blake, and I have just a quick note before we get started. Actually, it's more like a recommendation because this podcast is an immersive audio experience, part fact, part fantasy. So it's best that you listen with headphones on, imagination on, and everything else turned off. Welcome to Abandoned, the All American Ruins podcast. Season 2, Episode 5. Daniel.
Ребята, не занимайте круговую оборону, лучше сдавайте сразу, вам всем пизда! Ебана, сука, у тебя, чтоб ты понял, сейчас потихоньку джавелинами накроем вас, ебаной матери! Это ты, пидор ебаный, ты на моей земле!
Lisbon looks vibrant all the way up here at the top of this abandoned restaurant. Miradouro, Panorâmico de Monsanto, or Monsanto Panoramic Viewpoint. I have a horrible Portuguese accent. And yet, despite all that color, all that shine, I can't stop thinking about Ukraine, standing knee-deep in the privilege of my freedom to travel. I wish I could help. How can I help? I can't just go fight in a war. As I stare down at the graffiti-blanketed building, a spherical beauty that stands 4 stories tall, towering over the city of Lisbon up on this hill, I think about America, our dog-eat-dog economy, our access to cutting-edge medicine, our backwards feelings toward education, critical thinking, the trickery in believing that the system can work for all of us if we just put the work in. The true root of our own ongoing civil war that started on July 4th, 1776, when the Declaration of Independence was signed, one of the biggest and deadliest marketing schemes of all time. Or January 6, 2021, the reawakening of that ongoing silent civil war, incubating in whitewashed history and countless tall tales of freedom, justice, equity, and equality. And I'm thinking about Daniel Skripnik, an underground queer creative who went viral after Britney Spears shared a piece that he'd created of her on her Instagram, his response to the hashtag Free Britney movement.
Yeah, she reposted one of my illustrations. It was before her testimony, as I remember, yeah. Even right now, I cannot remember this funny stuff, but I will try.
I see his face in every single cloud hovering above this shell of a building.
My name is Daniel Skripnik, and I'm an artist from Ukraine, and now in Ukrainian. Мене звати Даніель Скрипник. Я митець із України.
His work is soft, provocative, whimsical, and challenges the status quo. After I discovered him, I found myself lost in his feed, an instant fanboy, a stranger to his person, but a friend to his work.
So yeah, she posted on her Instagram one of my drawing. When I draw the snake that chokes her, it was my visualization of one of her posts that she does. So yeah, I was pretty involved in this Free Britney movement.
I drift downstairs to the 3rd floor and try not to think about him. The war just broke out, though its momentum has been building for years. Instead, I focus on my imagination. It's been 2 years building All-American Ruins, and this is my first international All-American Ruins expedition. The project continues to give my life meaning. Every exploration into the wilds of abandoned spaces and escape from reality into the past, where ghosts offer their wisdom in exchange for my imagination to conjure their spirits. It's been my healing practice during this pandemic. As I reach the 3rd floor and pass by a painting of a happy little yellow dragon, I lean up against a concrete wall and rest my spine for just a moment. I imagine Daniel's back leaning up against mine, holding each other up. I know it's fake, but it's a way to make myself feel better for feeling so helpless. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Because right now I'm in Ukraine, I'm in Kiev, and I feel this whole situation.
Everything in this building points to the center. I run my hands along the cool concrete and can't get that moment out of my head. The moment I learned Russia had invaded.
The
Russian president declared the war on the record. Should I play the video of your president? Ambassador, shall I do it?
Today that Russia is poised to carry out a full-scale invasion of Ukraine.
People are digging trenches all over this city. They're digging them in public parks. They're heading out into the forest to gather branches, which they'll...
Good morning from the Ukrainian capital, Kiev. Gunfire and explosions have been heard here and in the second city of Kharkiv shortly after the Russian President Vladimir Putin authorized a special military operation.
Геноциду со стороны киевского режима. Кто бы ни пытался помешать нам, а тем более создать угрозы для нашей страны, для нашего народа, должны знать, что ответ России будет незамедлительным.
I immediately rushed over to Daniel's Instagram page to see if he was posting information from the inside. He was. In fact, he was reporting everything in real time, blasting it to his 22,000 followers, amassing virtual love from around the world, fueling a digital demonstration of support.
And my recent post, I'm trying to spread this message that we are visible, we are here, and we need attention from the whole world. Like, we need to be visible, we need to be supported, we need everything that other countries can provide.
I stared at his feed and the message button at the top of his page, and in a moment of pseudo-panic, I messaged him. I asked if he would be free for an interview on my weekly radio show. Not just because of the invasion, but because his art has served as a place of comfort to me, and I wanted him to know. But more importantly, I wanted him to have a face to my name, to know that his global queer family was here for him. But then I thought, what the fuck kind of help could I offer him? Like, seriously, what? Tell me what I can do. I shot a digital message flare into the electronic ether and told myself a response couldn't possibly happen, wouldn't happen. Daniel was caught in the thick of a war. What the fuck were you even thinking by reaching out? I looked through some bars at the top of a grand staircase that winds down underneath a tiny wall with a painting of a young kid holding a sign that says, "Make the world Greta again," which feels like a weird way to make a statement about the climate crisis, but I pull out my Polaroid anyway, just to make sure I remember this graffiti kid. But my fingers slip and fuck! I drop it. It chips. Fuck me! I look over and see two kids staring at me. My instinct is to give them the finger, but instead I say out loud, "No, Blake, you're almost 35 years old," which makes them stare even harder. I open the front of the camera to see why there's blue ink dripping, spilling out of the slot where the photo dispense is. The entire roll is done for, and the chemicals from the unused strip recoil from the sunset bursting through the stained glass window that takes up another full wall above me. This place must have been a beauty back in its heyday. As I gently wrap up my camera in my windbreaker and place it in my backpack, it dawns on me. Tomorrow I am talking to Daniel. And though I don't know it at the time, during our Zoom conversation, he will open up and tell me a secret.
We are not afraid. We are trying to protect ourselves. We're trying to protect our country. And I feel less stress about it because I feel that we need to win. And we will win. I believe in this. So yeah.
And I look into his eyes behind my computer screen and agree with him. I putz around a small landing that overlooks a portion of the second floor. I peer out across Lisbon and begin to wonder how many people are having sex in the city right now. Don't tell me you've never thought about that. I also wonder how many people are crying, how many people are laughing. I hope more people are laughing or cry laughing. I look to my right and see a small line of windows and read a message from a past graffiti artist. Close your eyes and see what's inside. I look across the room and don't realize that behind a wall about 50 paces from me is a labyrinth of confusing rooms and passages. My imagination won't show me what this restaurant used to look like, though. I'm too busy thinking about Daniel. When we speak, quote-unquote, face-to-face the following afternoon, I will ask him what he's doing to protect his heart space.
So yeah, and I believe in light, and I am sure that we can see the light, imagine it. Imagination is still very important, like especially in art. Yeah, it is a question of being creative soil there, you know what I mean? Like, this is how I can describe myself right now. I am just an creative soil there. So yeah, we'll try to do our best. So I'm sure that we can meet each other sooner.
Truly, this man feels like my brother. He knows about the unmitigated healing power of imagination. This patriot, this artist, is one of the finest human beings I've ever met. I wander into a side corridor that's lined with graffiti from top to bottom, and for a moment can see the ghost of the maitre d' assisting guests from behind the host stand. I set up my camera and take my typical jump photo, where I make it look like I'm flying. I look up on the wall and see a beautiful painting of a young man crouching, scared, his back up against a wall. He looks like he's hiding from something. His hair is black, but his posture and his face look like Daniel. I stare at him and I try to tell him, "Daniel, I don't know if you can hear me, but I was just wondering, how is your imagination treating you today?" But nothing. I hear nothing but the sound of the wind coming up the hills off the ocean. I wait a moment, staring harder at the painting of sort of Daniel on the wall. "Daniel, did you hear me? How is your imagination treating you today?" The painting is lifeless. Still. I bow my head, zip up my backpack, stand, and walk away. And just as I'm about to step out of the building, I hear behind me,
I feel power. Yeah, I feel power inside of me. I'm grateful for you, and I'm grateful for all the people who still support Ukraine. And I can tell you that we will be forever grateful.
If you're just tuning in, welcome to the second season of Abandoned, the All-American Ruins podcast. Join me every other week as I take you on an immersive sonic journey, recounting my expeditions of abandoned spaces across the United States, which I transform into fantastical audio experiences that allow you, dear listener, to dive into my imagination with me, or maybe inspire you to go out and use your own. Next time, you'll get to meet my boyfriend Jake as we wander the ruins of the Huff Bakery in Cleveland, Ohio. If you don't want to miss it, please subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. And please subscribe, rate, and review. It helps more people see this show. Also, if you like to read or enjoy amateur photography, just know that each episode this season is adapted from the original All-American Ruins blog, where you can catch up on more of my adventures. Just visit allamericanruins.com or follow me on Instagram at allamericanruins. Abandoned, the All-American Ruins podcast is hosted, written, edited, and produced by me, Blake File, with studio space courtesy of Radio Kingston, WKNY AM 1490, FM 1079 in Kingston, New York. Special thanks to Ida Hakala, Jimmy Buff, and Manuel Blas for the mentorship and encouragement, to you, the listener, for taking time to explore these abandoned spaces with me, and Daniel, there are no words to express my deep respect for you. I hope today you're safe out there, my friend.